Following that 4-game losing streak, I didn't know if these words would ever be coming out of my mouth, but here we go. Carolina just needs one more win to go bowling.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, y'all. What's up? It's Friday, November 15th, 2024. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Shade, joined by our buddy Cersei and Horace Cersei here with you, NFL dude. And we're coming to you as we always typically record during Thursday Night Football. I think we're like right at halftime right now, and it is a defensive slog between the Eagles and almost the Redskins, between the Eagles and Commanders for NFC East supremacy. Folks, you're joining us at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us your first listen or watch of the day. Special shout out to all you everydayers, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord community, and of course our Locked On Tar Heels insiders as well. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. You're going to get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Speaking of getting started, sirs, let's get right into this thing. Folks, for your awareness, it is a two-show Friday. We got a basketball preview show because Carolina men are hosting American tonight, and the Carolina women are playing number 2 UConn tonight. So that is a big time matchup for them, getting that return game from last year. So we're getting ready for that on the other show. Make sure you check it out. And on that show, I'll be telling you to watch this show. So man, little symmetry back and forth. But here, Cersei and I obviously going to be talking football. Carolina getting ready to host Wake Forest tomorrow night game. Love that. So we're going to talk big picture storylines. We're going to get to our what to watch for. We'll make game predictions and, of course, weekend whip around, letting you know all the other great stuff that starts this weekend, including the beginning of some NCAA tournament action for some other Tar Heel teams. Sirs.
What up?
My man, here's where we got to start this thing. We've had a week off, an open week. We're back at it. There are 3 games left. Wake Forest, at Boston College, and then hosting NC State to wrap the regular season. The past 2 years, we know the narrative, we know the storyline that Carolina has basically choked down the stretch of those seasons, those promising seasons that were looking like they both could have been 10-win seasons, if we're being honest, and those have been hard to come by for Carolina. Right. And now here we sit, an opportunity to change that narrative. Carolina has come from that 4-game losing streak, won 2 in a row on the road at Virginia and at woeful Florida State. And now it's time to change that narrative. Sirs, can they do that?
I believe so. Well, I believe what would help about this time of year is the late bye week. Normally we have a bye week early in the season, so it's just like a long stretch of just games to the end of the year. But it's rare that you get 2 bye weeks. But for one of the bye weeks to come at the end of towards the end of the season with 3 games left it's amazing. You give you an opportunity to fine tune again, and like you said, to get prepared for that late push to get bowl eligible and hopefully get a win over all 3 teams. Wake Forest is a good team, Boston College is a good team, and then you always want to get your in-state rivalries. We lost to Duke this year, but hopefully we get State, because in years past we have beaten Duke and lost to State. So maybe this year's on a little reverse side. I hope so. Fingers crossed. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, to get a late bye week. I know us in the NFL, we call that a blessing to get one late in the season. Nobody loves likes an early of the year bye week. We like to have them like in the middle or kind of towards the end. You know what I'm saying? So it gives us a chance to like regroup and fine tune some things that you may need to do. But I believe this helps. It helps the teams keep building camaraderie. They, like I said, for them to go back in. Get prepared for that final stretch of these last 3 games. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Hopefully we get bowl eligible to get to a good bowl game and finish strong for sure.
And that's the thing, Sirs. You know, coming off of the Georgia Tech loss that made it 4 in a row, I think you and I were sitting here thinking and talking about like, man, it'd be nice if they could just get bowl eligible, like much less get above it. But now here we sit. You just need 1 win in your last 3 to get bowl eligible. But I think we're looking at it like I'm to the point now where I'm like, They've looked really good these last 2 games. Hopefully they've been able to keep the momentum going with the open week. And now I want more than that, sir. So I'm getting selfish. I'm not going to be content with 6 wins. I want 8-4. I want 8-4. You know, like, do you see that as a possibility? Like, you and I were texting earlier on Thursday, you know, Boston College, their quarterback, Castellanos, is like planning to enter the transfer portal. That's a mess. So like that opens that up, you know, it's crazy. But like, do you see a world where this team could finish 8-4 in the regular season?
Absolutely. Especially after the 2 performances last week, the few weeks that they've been winning and putting together like great team chemistry, and defense coming alive, putting pressures on the quarterback, which is amazing. I love to see that, man. You know, they was creating turnovers. The defensive back the DBs was able to get their hands on the ball, create turnovers, get the ball back to our offense. And you can see, like, the more chances our offense get, they turning them into points. I mean, Omarion Hampton was amazing against Florida State. 5 touchdowns. It's crazy. I mean, of course, I didn't play offense in college or NFL, so the only time I ever scored, I scored 5 touchdowns on homecoming my senior year. So, but I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? For him to do that on the collegiate level is rare, and it just shows you the amazing skill set that he has as a player, and that shows you what the team can do when they play together and work collectively. Because a couple of those touchdown runs, especially that shovel pass he took to the house with the receivers blocking downfield, that took a complete team effort. You know what I'm saying? And Omarion was able to pick and choose which way he wanted to go, and Florida State defense taking back a couple of bad angles. He was out the gate for another touchdown. So I just want them to keep it going, man, because they see it. They see what they see their potential. They see what they could have been doing the whole year. But I'm just glad to see them put it together these last 2 games. And hopefully, like I said, like again with the late bye week, they was able to fine tune some things for this final push of these last 2 games, because all 3 games are winnable. Like you said, Wake Forest is pretty good, but they've been struggling. Boston College's quarterback was benched because he was playing bad after I thought was a tremendous start. I haven't been keeping up with.
When he had gotten hurt too was part of it. He got hurt, so yeah.
Yeah, but they performed good, man, up until the end. So it was shocking to hear that he went in the portal. But that's another team that can be beat. Now conditions and may come into a factor because Carolina is going to Boston. Yeah. Oh Lord, so you never know what you're gonna get up there. You know what I'm saying? And then that last game against State, you know, State gonna come with everything. Especially I'm not too sure what State record is, but if they're not bowl eligible and they have a chance to keep us from get to a good bowl, I'm pretty sure they want to play spoiler. So we always got to be able to come in and ready to play against them for sure.
Yes. NC State right now is 5-5, Sirs. And so, yeah, they're kind of on that edge too. I think they've been playing a little better lately, if I remember correctly. Right. They won 2 of their last 3, but they lost their last game, obviously, to Duke last week. So that's kind of where they're at right now. Look, like I'm tired of losing that game. It's time to kill the Wolfpack. You talked about Omarion Hampton. Let's get to Omarion Hampton watch, because it's like we can't talk about this team and not go in depth on him. Sirs, Wake Forest is 69th nationally, allowing 147.8 rushing yards a game. Middle of the packish, but you know Omarion's going to run on everyone. Listen to this. Our man, first off, Carolina has had a 100-yard plus rusher in every single game. That only one he didn't get it was the game that Goss got 100 yards because Hampton didn't play a lot of this or any of the second half and would have gotten to 100 himself. But Carolina is one of just 2 teams nationally to have a 100-yard rusher in every single game. The other, as you would probably guess, is Boise State. Yeah, exactly. Ashton Genty is something. Right. But right now, Omarion Hampton has tied a Carolina record, 7 straight 100-yard rushing games, so he can set a new record on Saturday. He's sitting at 1,178 rushing yards so far this season. That's already, Sirs, with 3 games to go, the 13th most in single-season Carolina history. Right. Another 100-yard game on Saturday would move him into 5th, meaning that he would have 2 of the top 5 rushing seasons in Carolina history. Man, put that into perspective for us.
Man, it's amazing. I think the only other person I've seen with 2 top rushing performances is Gio Bernard. Now, I may be wrong. It could be some other guys, but I'm saying like who I witnessed have back. Yes.
Gio has 2 top 10 seasons. Yep, right. I'm looking at it.
And another one may be Michael Carter. I think Michael Carter is in the top 10 in rushing as well.
Yep.
But that's a testament to his skill set and the work he put in. The guys blocking for him and shows the type of player he is to be able to handle that load and to be able to make those tough yards. Like he leads the country in yards at the contact. He always falls for it. He made the first guy miss, so he could run through the first guy. So it doesn't matter. And I tell people sometimes to this day, when I first saw Omarion, it was his mother, it was his brother, and it was him. They was dropping them off at campus, and I thought the older brother was Omarion. I thought Omarion was the older brother that was dropping off the younger brother. And so, like, when Omarion got out the front seat, I was like, hey, man, I didn't know that was Omarion. I was like, hey, man, I see you dropping off your little brother. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, nah, that's my big brother. And I was like, big brother? And I said, so you Omarion? He was like, yeah. And to see the traps on him and whatnot, I'm like, dude, this kid is jacked at 18. Not too many 18-year-olds coming into high school already with the build. Sometimes they have to go through the program, the nutrition and the weight training, the strength training to get that size. But he entered Carolina that size. So the fact that he came in and continued to work and progressed and got better, you see it. You see it on the field from day one when he was went out there as a freshman. He been making plays and running all over people. So it's good. It's good to see that, man, and to know that he's on the verge of having another top 10, top 5 rushing performance in school history is testament to his talent. And he, like I said, he's an amazing player.
Okay, so that's the dude you need to be watching for. But there's a whole host of Tar Heels that are ready to break out yet again because this is turning into a full team effort. So we got to get to our what to watch for, where we're going to set you up with 4 things that we're keeping an eye on Saturday. Sirs will be there to keep an eye on it in person. And so we want to get to that. Yes, coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about what's probably Peyton Manning's favorite ad sponsor here on Locked On Tar Heels, Omaha Steaks, because nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. This year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, you get a $30 reward card when you shop early and score an extra $30 off with promo code COLLEGE. With 5 generations of experience, they consistently deliver the world's best steak experience, and the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages starting at $89.89. From legendary steaks to mouthwatering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code COLLEGE and a $30 reward card when you shop early. Sirs, I think my family's gonna do steak for Thanksgiving instead of turkey. This might be the deal where I get it, man, right here, right?
That's I'm thinking the same thing.
Right? It just makes sense, y'all. It's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra 30 with promo code COLLEGE. Minimum purchase may apply. Check it out at omahasteaks.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the what to watch for, where Sirs and I give you 4 things that we are watching for in this game. As always, my man, kick it off.
All right, here we go. The first what to watch for is, can our defense continue the dominant performance, especially coming off an extra week to prepare for a team like Wake Forest? What do you think?
Man, I think so, because they've got, they run that kind of slow mesh that you got to watch out for a little bit.
Yes.
I feel like that's got to, obviously, I've never been on the field doing this against it. You've seen stuff like this. I feel like it's got to be so hard to diagnose, and it slows down your reaction time, and it forces you to think, which is a bad thing.
Right. You're absolutely right, dude. I think that every time I see that, I thank God I'm done playing football, because I would hate to have to deal with that. Like I miss the old traditions of the I-back, 12 personnel, 12 personnel is 2 tight ends, 1 back, 2 receivers and whatnot. I miss those formations. Only time I would see a third receiver is on 3rd down, So yes. I miss those days. I miss the days where the QB was on the center, he was calling checks at the line of scrimmage, all that slow clapping to get people to move, and then you clap again for them to move. Sometimes I sit in the stands, I'd be like, God, just snap the ball, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I get it. It's a new regime. It's a new day and time. That offense, I found out, is easier for guys to develop and play in instead of learning the traditional format. So it's easier to coach that, because a lot of high schools of doing it, especially with the advancement of 7-on-7 leagues and whatnot. That's what they run. So now so the game has changed. So you gotta adapt to it. You gotta adjust to be able to work with it. But I hope with the extra week, the guys are more disciplined with their eyes and they're more patient. It may cause a lot of thinking, but it shouldn't slow them down. And again, with an extra week to prepare, we should do good, because I remember we played against Georgia Tech in that triple option, and we had a bye week. We had a bye week my sophomore year before we played them.
Yeah,
that extra week alone to prepare for the triple option helped us tremendously. When you got an extra week to prepare for it, it's easier. It's not saying it's easier to stop. I wouldn't say that, but you're more prepared, because it's still hard. You know what I'm saying? But you're more prepared. You're more prepared to stop it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you always see Georgia Tech during the season, they will be running through people, but when they get in a bowl game, yes, because the teams have 2-3 weeks to prepare for that. So as long as you got enough time to prepare, you're able to stop it. And like I said, with them running that type of offense with the slow mesh counters and QB holding it before he pulls it, give our defense the edge a little bit with the extra time of preparation. Yeah. That's good.
Take that, Paul Johnson. Sirs, I mean, look, Carolina has only allowed 14 and 11 points in the last 2 games. Of course, Virginia and Florida State, not the most dynamic offenses in the world. But with Wake, they've only scored under 20 twice this year, and that was when they played Ole Miss, who's super legit, and Clemson. Yeah, exactly. So it's Carolina, as you said, I mean, this defense has been coming along. 17 sacks in the last 2 games after 15 sacks in the first 7 combined. I mean, it's ridiculous. Held both those teams under 300 yards. First time Carolina has done that in back-to-back road games since 2007, sirs. And so, man,
my freshman year, yo.
There you go. I wondered as I typed that note, I was like, I feel like Sirs was on that team even.
Yeah, freshman year, young Sirs. I had a Kobe fro then. You know, I ain't had no dreads. I had a Kobe fro.
Yeah. So, man, we'll keep seeing if these guys. Bo Atkinson has been going crazy lately. Came at Rutgers back. It's so much fun to watch. We'll have our eyes on that. Sirs, what to watch for? Point number 2. I'm going to the other side of the ball. Will this offensive line continue to progress? Look, folks, if you're unaware, Willie Lampkin, all 5'11" of him, is the highest rated guard in the country, according to PFF. Heading into last week's action,
the country,
dude, what on earth? This dude hadn't allowed a pressure since week 5, 4 straight weeks with 100% pass blocking efficiency rate. And sirs, I love it. And I feel like this unit has been growing and obviously getting healthier with these two off weeks of the last 4. They're feeling each other a little bit more. And I just feel like against Virginia, 0 sacks allowed. Against Florida State, just 1. And that was right before halftime when you're just kind of scramble mode. And so, man, I feel like they're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, man. And then having everybody back, and the more they play, they get to play with each other, man.
Yes.
I don't know how long. I hope Willie got another year. I hope a lot of those guys.
This is it, man. This is number 5, I believe.
Oh man, that was dang. Well, we gotta plug and play next year. But I was hoping they at least play one more year together, all of them.
Yeah.
Especially, I heard Jacoby may have an extra year to go.
He's got another year.
So for him to come back with his original line, and you're gonna have skilled guys lead, but with everybody getting some experience, you gotta have guys stepping up. And I would love to see them play again. But yeah, to what we were saying, Willie's an absolute stud. He came from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
And so he's one of those guys like Elijah Huzzy. He had a chip on his shoulder. He feel like I should have been here from the jump. You know what I'm saying? I was good. I knew I was good enough, and now I get to prove that I'm good enough, and he's proving it. I love it. And then the guys coming together. They didn't allow a sack against Virginia. They only gave up 1 against Florida State. They just showed the line's dominance, how dominant they can be. So again, with another week of practicing together, playing together, still learning each other's movements and each other's groove, how they like to work in the trenches. We should be in for another good treat, man. Hopefully it's another 0 or 1 sack game, man. We need it, especially on the blue out, the blue out games.
It is indeed. That's going to be great. So, Sirs, take us to what to watch for point number 3.
What to watch for point 3. I like the development of the young receivers. I wonder, should we see some more young receivers get some action? Like we saw Billups last week. Ship got in on a couple plays. One play he was a decoy. One play they gave it to him. So just keep developing them because we got guys. That's going to be going next year. Departures of probably JJ. Departures of Nate. But to have guys who have in-game experience. In the NFL, we call it blood on the field. That's your. You got blood on the field. That's your experience. So you got to get them out there. Let them get a taste for it. Let them build their confidence. Because you never know. Some of the guys may play. Some of the guys, they may be shaking. But the more they're out there, their confidence will grow. I want to see the playing time and the development of the younger guys continue to grow.
And they're going to have to, without Nesbitt. I mean, there's just dudes got to step up and make plays. And I'm with you. All right. Point number 4. Have a day, Jacoby Criswell. And here's why I say that. First off, we were just talking about the offensive line. The better and better they get, the more time it gives him. I feel like, Sirs, every time we see this dude out on the field, his processing is slowing down. And I mean that time is slowing down so that his processing is more capable. You know what I mean? And that's been good. But here's the thing also. He just had his highest completion percentage of the season against Wake. He didn't have to throw it a ton because, as you said, Omarion was running wild over the Seminoles. Check this, my dude. Wake Forest is 120th in the nation out of just 133 teams in total defense, allowing 446.3 yards per game. But you want to know the splits? 131st in the nation out of 133 teams in passing yards allowed with 298.6. So I feel like this, because obviously you cannot forget where your bread is buttered. You got to give the ball to Omarion Hampton a crap ton. But I feel like that's going to allow for even better complementary football to happen because clearly something's going on with this Wake secondary and linebackers when they got to get into coverage. And Criswell's got to take advantage of it. And that just makes Omarion have an even bigger day.
Absolutely, because they're going to be predicated on stopping the run, and if Omarion is doing what he does, then eventually that's going to open up for the play action pass. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then they struggling like that, then our receivers and tight ends should have a field day. Heck, even Omarion out the backfield. Or
I was going to say they've been targeting him more in the passing game.
Absolutely. So hopefully that continues, man. If you got a team like that that's struggling, and we had an extra week to prepare for them, we got to come out and start fast and fire on all cylinders. You got to get it moving on them, man. Don't let them have their best game against you, man. Keep them in the slump for sure.
Yes. Let's make that happen. Fast start at home on Saturday. Being back there for the first time in about 3.5 years, it feels like, since all these road games and off weeks. All right. Sirs, we're going to have to talk about the details of this game, get to know Wake Forest a little better, and we'll give our game predictions. Plus, we got to get to our weekend whip around. We'll do all that coming up here in just a second. Right after I tell you about FanDuel, get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book because right now, new customers, you can bet $5 and get $150 back in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all right there in one place. So maybe you get a hunch in the middle of the game. Well, you can go check out latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more on the same page where you place those bets. Carolina, favored by 10.5 over Wake. I did not think the line would be that big, but there we go. Tar Heels favored in basketball tonight over American by 24.5. Haven't yet seen the line for the Carolina-UConn women's game, but man, I'm sure that's going to be interesting as well. So if you want to go check these out or anything else, do it all at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Go make every moment more with FanDuel. It's an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, gang. Tonight, Carolina hosting Wake in Keenan, 8 p.m. Eastern on ACC Networks. Good to get a night game, a blue out. That blue's going to be so sexy under the lights. FanDuel, I just said it, but favors the Tar Heels by 10.5. Sirs, I think that line's bigger than I thought it would be. We'll get to the predictions here in just a second. Wake, 4-5 on the season, 2-3 in ACC play. Wins over North Carolina A&T, NC State, UConn, and Stanford. Funny enough, 3 of those 4 were on the road. Losses, Virginia, Ole Miss, Louisiana, Clemson, and Cal. The Ole Miss and Clemson games were blowouts. I mean, they got obliterated, but the other games have been very close. And so it's kind of a little bit hard to know what to make of Wake as we go into this thing, sirs.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, obviously Wake is not. They don't have the talent they had in the previous years. Especially at the QB play. I mean, the QB they have, Hank. He's been playing good, but you just know, in the past they had what's that? Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, he chuck it around. He went on to Notre Dame, right? After that.
Yeah, right. Granted, he was old as heck. He out there 26 throwing touchdowns on 18 to 19 years old. That don't count.
What's up, Chris Winkie?
That's the same, man. You cheat, man. But it is. I mean, it is what it is. But
hey, we had it last year with Cormac Ryan in basketball. So
yeah, absolutely. So we are good. It balances out. but yeah, man. You still can't take them. Lightly. This is opponent. They could be coming in playing spoiler as well. We're not going nowhere. I don't want you to go anywhere. So you got to show them the respect, but you got to be able to go out there and execute and dominate. They got it. We always say that if they got a D1 offer, they're good until they show us something different.
That's a good way to say it. And look, Wake can still get to bowl eligibility. They got 4 wins, but
they got something to fight for.
So both of these teams are trying to get there. And as you said, man, like they can play spoiler for Carolina in this home game as Carolina's honoring military, and the Tar Heels have done this multiple times. Obviously even this year. But you think about Georgia Tech the past couple of years, stuff like that. And so, man, you got to strap up and be ready to go. You already mentioned Hank Bachmeier, the quarterback. He's completing 61.5% of his passes this year, 14 TDs, 9 picks. Sirs, that's right at 1 a game. So I'm watching to see if Huzzy or Cost or somebody or Marcus Allen maybe can reel one in. We'll see what happens there. Runs a little bit, 67 rushes for 118 yards, 1 TD on the ground. Leading rusher is Des Claiborne, 169 for 824 and 9 TDs. He's active in the pass game too, so you're going to watch for that. Taylor Morin's the leading receiver, and then you got a couple other guys mixed in there: Deuce Alexander, Horatio Fields, and Donovan Green. So, sirs, as we look at this thing, 10.5 points. Is that too rich for your blood? Obviously, I think we're both going to take Carolina to win, but you think they will cover that 10.5 points?
I believe so. Well, my prediction was 28-14 Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like get the dub and whatnot. But I mean, a win is a win at the end of the day. But if they cover the spread, that'll be awesome. But as long as we come out of Keenan with a W and they turn that bell tower blue, that's the only thing that matters to me.
Light it up. Yes, you said 28-14.
Yep.
That's crazy. I was going one more touchdown each. I was going to say 35-21, but we got that same 2 touchdown spread, a nice comfortable line. I like that. Let's get after it. Folks, we'd love to hear your predictions on this game as well. Sirs, let's get to the weekend whip around where we find out what else is going on in Tar Heel action this weekend. We already mentioned it, women's basketball. They won at North Carolina A&T earlier this week, 66-47. But in action tonight against number 2, UConn. More prep on that game on the other show. Make sure you tune in there. But Sirs, you're going to be in the building in Greensboro?
In the building in Greensboro.
Yes. I love it. Go dap up Chacos and tell him what's up, man. It'll be great.
Will do. My God, Chacos, he's awesome.
Speaking of offensive linemen, yeah, man. He's giddy with how they've been performing lately. All right. Let's get to NCAA tournament action. The undefeated and number 1 in the nation field hockey team, who's back to that spot because Northwestern lost in the Big Ten championship game to Michigan. They start NCAA tournament action today. In fact, depending on when you're listening to or watching this, it's already happened because they started at 11 a.m. today on ESPN Plus against Delaware, who beat Fairfield in double OT on Wednesday. Heels had a bye into the Sweet 16. If Carolina wins this game, which they will advance to the Elite 8 on Sunday, where they'll take on the winner of Maryland and Duke. That'll still be at home at Karen Shelton Stadium, noon on ESPN Plus. Oh, man, I tell you what, Aaron Matson has this thing rolling, sirs.
She's obviously cuss. I'm gonna say she damn. She sure does. She sure does. She's keeping that tradition going, man. And for her to be that young and putting on for her university, she graduated and just hopped right into it, man. I never met her, but being a former student athlete, making that transition into coaching, I'm very proud of her. She's keeping that rich tradition going. She got those girls playing, and she's on the verge of bringing another one home, which is impressive. Like if she goes back to back in her first year as a coach,
I mean, it's mind blowing.
Right. But hey man, just because it's Carolina and I'm connected, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it. I'm all for all pretty much everything Carolina, as long as it's positive. So I'm here. I'm rooting for them. Let's go field hockey, man. Let's keep doing it.
Speaking of Carolina sports that have absolutely dominated in their sport, women's soccer also starts their NCAA tournament action today. First round against USC Upstate. The ladies are a 2 seed. They'll be in action at Dorrance Field tonight at 6 p.m. So go watch field hockey in the afternoon and then go to see the soccer team in action tonight. That's on ESPN Plus. Winner will play the winner of BYU and Santa Clara. Tar Heels owe BYU some payback for last year. Men haven't started yet. Their selection show is this upcoming Monday. Sirs, man, just two dominant programs: Carolina women's soccer and field hockey. It's insane.
Absolutely. The tradition, that rich tradition, man. Always putting out winning seasons. They always every year they have a shot to either win it or get close, and I love it. So it give me something to brag about. I remember I went to Buffalo Wild Wings in Houston, and Carolina field hockey was playing Duke field hockey. And you know the biggest TV in Buffalo Wild Wings, I had it on Carolina and Duke field hockey.
That's
like
incredible.
People was coming there like, man, who got it on this? And I was like, me, go Heels. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy, man. I had the biggest TV. I had hijacked the biggest TV in the building and had it on Carolina Duke field hockey, dude. And we beat Duke. It was crazy. I think it was back in like 2021. I had did it because I was still living in Houston at the time. But yeah. So I was like, man. But yeah, like again, I'm always everything Tar Heel. You know what I'm saying? Like even I go home to Georgia, be around my family. I got on Carolina gear, and they be like, "We get it. You went to Carolina." Like, no, you don't get it. It's you know what I'm saying? We're the best.
Too good. 3 other Tar Heel teams in action this weekend. Volleyball had been off to that great start. They're on a 3-game losing skid. Of course, all 2 ranked teams, right? And it's just tough, man. Tonight, they're in South Bend, 6:30, taking on Notre Dame, ACC Network Extra. Sunday, a tough one, man. They got to go to number 3 in the nation, Louisville, 1 p.m. on ACC Network Extra. Got their work cut out for them. Back-to-back road weekends for the volleyball team. Cross country gets really, really close to the NCAA tournament this weekend. The NCAA Southeast Regional Championships. That'll be in Rock Hill, South Carolina, hosted by Winthrop. This is another event that's probably already over by the time you're listening to or watching this. The women's race is 10:30 Eastern this morning, and the men's 10K at 11:30 Eastern. The men have won the last 2 regionals. Parker Wolf is trying to become the first ever Tar Heel male to earn 4 NCAA all-regional honors. Hopefully he's healthy. He was a little banged up in the ACC championships, but you know this dude is a warrior, nearly made the Olympic team this year, and is an absolute dude. So, and basically what the teams have to do to earn a spot in next weekend's NCAA championships, what you're watching for, is qualifying standards. They got to be one of the top 2 teams from this regional, or there are 13 at-large teams picked after that. So that's what you're watching for from the Tar Heels. And then, Serge, to wrap it up, the action this weekend, wrestling, their second weekend of like action against another team, hosting Nebraska tonight at 8 p.m. And so that'll be great for the wrestling team to keep going there. Serge,
absolutely,
man, going to be a great weekend. So much Tar Heel action going on right now, dude. It is incredible. And again, we haven't talked about it much on this show, but again, Carolina men's basketball hosting American, bringing Jackie Manuel back. He's on their staff tonight in the Smith Center, so make sure you tune into that. We will have a live post game after that game tonight and a live post game after the football game on Saturday. Yeah, it'll be late, but it don't matter. We party all night, baby, and that's how we do it.
Absolutely.
Sir, it's great to have you, man, as always. What a fun conversation today. Gang, if you're not subscribed to the show on video and audio, make sure you do that so you don't miss a second of what we're doing here. If you haven't joined Locked On Tar Heels Discord, it's a great place to be. We're chatting all the time. Links in the show notes, free to join. Come for the Tar Heels, stay for the community. And to go even deeper, you can join the Locked On Tar Heels Insiders. Text directly one-on-one with me, and you get free access to all of my charts and stats and data, all sorts of great stuff like that. You all know the deal. Search, you know the deal. It's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll be back again tonight after the basketball game to chat about that. But until then,
peace. Go Heels. Go Heels.